This poor little Murmansk. It has no idea I'm around this corner. I haven't been spotted. This is gonna be so good. They're New Mexico. Is it good? Is it bad? And how does it stack up against a Fuso, its Tier 6 counterpart from the Imperial Japanese Navy? In the background is a recent game on Northern Lights, which is becoming one of my favorite maps, as it offers a variety of different gameplay choices, and because it's pretty. And yes, I know I play bad, so I should feel bad, but it's okay. So where do we start with this ship? Well, let's just jump right into it. This will most likely be the first ship you're going to play more than 100 games on the American tech tree. From its base cost of 45,000 experience that you gain from the New York, to unlock this ship, you have a total of 99,500 experience just to move on to the Colorado, not including all the upgrades for the ship. You're going to be spending some time here. For today, we're not going to talk about its upgrade to upgrade potential, but its top tier performance with all the modules already unlocked. And on the same side of that, you're going to be pulled into tier 8 matches. So knowing your ship is going to help a lot. Knowing how to pilot it around, where to be, where not to be, what you're facing, all that is going to be very, very important for the high tier games. So how well does the New Mexico actually stack up against the Fuso? On paper, not so good. The Fuso outranges the New Mexico by at least 5 kilometers. The Fuso's faster, turns quicker, fires a little bit faster, and this HE shell damage is more. So why do I like it? Well, it can take an absolute pounding and keep coming back. If you find a Fuso firing at you from its maximum range, the shells are going to have to go through your deck, the upper casement, and into the citadel to get a good hit. What that doesn't include, though, is hits to your superstructure and everything else in the way, like your secondary guns, the top of your turret armor, and anything else up there. Up close, your belt armor is way better. It covers your citadel better. The Fuso has a very, very large one. The casement doesn't surround the entire ship, so you're better there. And it's thicker. And it's double layered. And it has spaced armor because of the torpedoes. And that does affect very, very slightly how the shell impacts the later levels of armor, because the way shells work in this game, if you overmatch a set of armor and it passes through, it's a no penetration on that. So you're passing through 19 to 25 millimeters of torpedo bulge before you get into the outer shell casement, which is like 203 millimeters, to where the AP shell will actually find its detonator. So then it has to go through 203 millimeters and then into 160 millimeters of actual citadel armor before it can explode in the citadel and do massive damage. From long ways away, this is harder because of the upper casement plate, which is 140 millimeters. It's harder because you have things in the way that can actually set off the AP armor before it goes into hard armor. Okay, that is very, very critical on how armor works. You got to know, okay, does this overmatch? Is this going to be a direct penetration? Is this going to be, so on and so forth. To get an overpin from a shell fired from either a Fuso or a New Mexico, it'll have to be over 27 millimeters. Okay, so you got to take that into account. This makes the New Mexico a perfect brawler. Although slow, the ship can move onto targets fairly well and stay in the fight a good amount of time before it has to pull back and start using its damage repair ability. You should start going into every fight with an exit strategy and an idea where you want your guns pointed at the first place. The turret traverse speed is slow. Very, very slow. So pre-aiming your guns before going into a fight is a must to get maximum effect. What this means is that you need to start to rotate your guns to the direction you're going to fire at next before you get there. So if you're going to be firing to the left and you're just sailing straight ahead and your guns are at the right, even though you're not ready to fire yet, go ahead and look a little to the left. That way your guns can start to swing over that direction before you get there. Okay? Or if you fire a volley and then you're going to start turning the other direction to fall back and use your damage repair ability, go ahead and look at that direction. That way they can start going there. I cannot express this. You have to do this. Waiting a full minute for your guns to turn from the left to the right will get you killed more than anything else. Because you did not have your guns on target. They can just keep shelling you and shelling you and shelling you for free. You're not doing any damage to them. So you've basically made yourself ineffective. More in the gunplay in a minute. We need to go a little bit more into the armor of the ship and what makes it better in practice than what we see on paper or stats page or anything else. First, there are far more armor stats than we can explain in a short amount of time. Talking about just one particular ship. We can go more into that on another video. No big deal. The main thing you need to focus on in the New Mexico or any other battleship for that matter is your angle against your opponent or whoever has the bigger gun. Don't go broadside onto a battleship just because you're shooting at a cruiser or destroyer and you want all 12 of your main guns to be pointed at him, so you went broadside to the battleship on your right. Okay? Pretty simple. Don't do that in anything. 60 to 90 degrees is an automatic bounce unless the module that was hit was overmatched. No gun in the game can overmatch your main armor though. Your superstructure, things like that can be overmatched. Very, very thin armor. Especially at this level, I think it's like 27 millimeters is overmatched and will automatically get a pin. But then there's armor behind that armor and all that fun stuff. Again, more than what we're going to go to into this video. But your main thought that needs to be going through your head again and again and again is how can I tank the damage for my support ships? Okay? So bouncing should be your main tactic, or trying to angle as much armor as you can into something so you do not take the big hits. Spalling damage of 1,000 damage is a lot better than 6,000 damage from a main shell hit that went through, some kind of area in your ship and done a lot more damage than, the 1,000 that you would have got from a spalling damage shot. This doesn't mean you rush in and die. Okay, your support ship's gonna be, oh my god, the BB's not up front. Stop. You don't have to be up front. Your destroyers and stuff should be ahead of you. Because you're bigger, your view range is farther. Well, your spotting range is farther, okay? You're going to be spotted before an Omaha or Minakasi or whatever else is on your team. Okay? You're going to be there taking the attention away from the other big guns on the other team. So that's going to be your main fight is, okay, can I last for, a lot longer than, this BB on the other team, like a Fuso or Congo or, whatever's over there. Okay? But at the same time, if it starts getting too rough, you need to turn out and go. This is not team battle. This is not, a bunch of buddies playing. More than likely, you're going to be in random battle, and they're going to leave you anyway. So, just, if they run, you do the same. You can keep firing as you're going and try to get back health. You're not fast or anything like that. And again, don't show them your broadside and just go. Don't let them con you into dying for the greater of the team or some other bullshit. So just how does your armor stack up? Quite well, actually. Although your hull armor on paper is lower at 16 to 25 millimeters versus the Fuso's 152 to 203, The actual amount of this armor is lower on your ship. Most of it can be found in the torpedo bulges and the bow and the stern section of the ship, and like your superstructure and all that other fun stuff. The New Mexico Citadel armor is far better, ranging from 76 millimeters to 343, and the Fuso at 19 millimeters here to 305. And like I stated before, it covers more of the Citadel and heavier armor plates. The upper casement on the New Mexico is 140 millimeters thick and offers good protection from Citadels like, you know, from ships like the Cleveland, which do plunging fire at like a kilometer away. I mean, they basically fire straight up and it comes straight down onto your deck. Okay? It doesn't get overmatched, so you're not going to get an automatic pin through your Citadel and all that fun stuff. So you're protected from ships like that. And yes, it seems like a small amount, but it is so much better. And when you finally start to understand that, it's just so much better. Um, by comparison, the Fuso's upper plate is only 99 millimeters thick, and plunging fire can go right through it. I mean, yeah, it's got to go through the deck and all that other stuff, but I think one panel on top of the Fuso can arm a shell, so the next one it goes through is going to explode and do major damage. And the deck on the Fuso is a lot bigger, and a lot of the Citadel is a lot more open. Um, so did I mention the belt armor? Because it's kind of a big deal. The part above the waterline is called an upper casement. The part below the waterline and and behind the torpedo bulge is the lower casement. These are 343 millimeters thick and 203 millimeters thick, respectively. Then you have the Citadel armor behind that of 115 millimeters. And below the waterline, you add another 19 millimeters for the torpedo bulges on the side. And those count as spaced armor. So a flat on waterline hit has to pin 337 millimeters. And that's after the shell goes through the water to get to that. So what does all that mean in New Mexico? Keeping your armor angled, and you'll see an effective thickness of over 600 millimeters. You can bounce shots forever, or you're just going to take a little bit of spalling damage. It's seriously that big of a deal. The upper plate is so protected that you cannot get an angled fallen shot through the Citadel unless it comes from another, flat on battleship. You're not going to have, some kind of random shenanigans coming on unless you're broadside onto something like a German ship. Mainly because they're scary. Now for the guns. Everybody likes the guns. That's why you play a battleship, is for the guns. But first, we're going to go a little bit off track here for a minute. When I first started playing this ship, I thought it was horrible. I would face a New Mexico in my Miyogi of all things. The tier 4 Japanese battleship that everybody thinks is horrible, but I love them. And I'd wreck a New Mexico. And I'd have half the guns and nowhere near the HP. Got on the forums and was told I need to get good and aim at a waterline at all times because, reasons. This was never more wrong for the armor stats I just gave above. The New Mexico is a brawler. It has a short range. And range with a spotter plane. You're still outclassed by a Fuso on your range. And I couldn't deal with the damage like I was used to. Even the Miyogi has a farther range than the New Mexico. The problem was the firing arc and how fast it can change from its plunging fire where, the shell would come straight down into the deck to a flat trajectory where waterline hits would count. Okay? So you didn't bounce all over the place. If you're firing at anything in the New Mexico from 14.2 kilometers to its maximum, whether that, you have the spotting plane or upgrades or anything like that, if you are that far out, aim for the center of the ship. Don't aim for the waterline. Aim for the center of the ship. A little high, and they're going to go straight through the deck. You can pin anything, basically, from that. Your shells keep enough velocity to them to where they keep most of of their armor penetration at long range. The Fuso, the Kongo, the Miyogi, and everything else really start to slow down at long range. That's why you'll, not get good hits, or, the dispersion is everywhere. Aiming at the waterline or the side at long range is going to bounce. Unless you get, like the rare chance you're firing at an Omaha at 18 kilometers. And, a side armor is less than 25 millimeters. And then, yeah, you're going to get an overmatch. And you're going to cause a pin. But you're not going to, yeah, you're going to do a little bit of damage, but it's not reliable. Try to aim for the center of the ship. Try. Please. So, what's good about it? What's bad about it? Well, when you're at short range, the accuracy is amazing. The ability to super fire, a turret above another turret whenever you're bow onto somebody or you're angling somebody, you can shoot 6 of your guns at one time at one target. And that is extremely useful to have. And to be able to turn out just a little bit, and with a tight turning circle that the New Mexico has, it's extremely handy to be able to super fire, because you have to be almost broadside in the Fuso to get all the guns on. I mean, not like, 90 degrees broadside, but enough to where your angling amount is enough to where New Mexico can pin a Fuso. It's that's just the trade-off. Yes, Fuso has more guns. Yes, it has longer range, but I can come on bow to you and have two more guns than you on you at one time, and I can turn sharper. So if you try to ram me, I can outturn you, even though the actual turn would technically take longer to complete because the rotor shift time is higher. But rotor shift times from side to side, so half 19, whatever that is, basically 10 seconds to go from center line to left or center line to right. So, not too horrible, but we're on guns right now. Um, they can be a little bit contrary sometimes. RNG is a thing. You kind of have to remember that. But since 5.5, I think, is the update that we're on right now, if your aim is tracked correctly server side, okay, let's say you're tracking a Congo, and your lead is correct, and your elevation is correct, and everything like that, you have a higher chance of hitting the target based on RNG still. Not like, oh, get good, aim, whatever, all that bullshit. No, it narrows it down. If you've ever played World of Tanks and you try to play artillery and you aim at somebody and then you slow down and you don't move, that brings the aiming reticle in. It's kind of the same thing, but kind of not. It's more, from what I understand, it changed the roll chance on it. From what I've gathered, now this is not something that's hard fact or anything like that. I've heard a couple of the community contributors talk about it. I've seen a couple of videos on it. You should probably go check out those because it is a thing. And from one of the community contributors, it was dev. You know, the dev said it. So there's that. Um, what else is good about the guns? What else is bad about the guns? Always try to load HE at the beginning of a round. I know that sounds extremely stupid, but because of your short range, even with a spotter plane, what you're going to see more than likely at the beginning is light armored cruisers like the Omaha, which you can overpin most of the time. If you don't hit a Citadel, you're overpinning an Omaha because it is an American beer can before anything dandies hit. Or you're going to face destroyers. Now, yes, you should probably be, trying to hit farther away targets and everything, but your chance to ricochet off of a far away target or not pin because of shell velocity is a lot higher. I am going to go out on a limb and probably get bitched at because of magical reasons that you should be firing HE at that long of range in this scenario, because the ships that you're going to face at that range, because you don't have the 20 something kilometer range as the other ships, are going to be more lightly armored. The battleships you're going to be facing are probably going to be, slower down. Even the Congo's extremely fast, and it might be up there, but it's, they'll let you know anyway. I mean, they're going to probably stay back in the back anyway because that's what Congos do, and just kind of pot shot at you. So, shoot HE back at him anyway, make him burn his repair and all that fun stuff on fire damage while you just kind of shrug off his hits anyway. But you're going to come up to, like I say, cruisers and destroyers. Don't overpin them. Now, I mean, if they get in, really close, don't let a destroyer get in close by any means. But your first 4 to 5, even 7 minutes of gameplay are going to be against light armored ships more than likely. So, kind of adjust your gameplay for that. I know that you can shoot a lot farther than those ranges, but a battleship is nothing without support. And if you can help take out a destroyer early in game, that is torpedoes. You don't have to worry about it. If you can take out an Omaha or a Kuma or any other cruiser with torpedoes, that's torpedoes you don't have to worry about. I mean, yes, you could pin everything in the game, but you're gonna mainly be fighting Clevelands and Omahas and Minakazis. Oh God, Minakazis and a bunch of other ships like that. Yes, there's gonna be battleships, but you know most of the time 10 ships on the game aren't battleships anyway. So try to do effective damage. Unless okay, I've got the broadside of this Cleveland, and I know that his citadel is in a certain place compared to other ones. I know I can hit it. Okay, I'm going to shoot AP at it. That's what needs to be done. Yes, you have a 30-second reload, but at the same time, you've already got HE loaded, and you're known to do damage either way. So if you come up onto a pack of cruisers like the Pensacola, Pepsi Cola, whatever you want to call it, or a Fuso, or even a Colorado or something, go ahead and just shoot waste the HE on them. You might get lucky and start a fire, and they'll have to burn a repair kit. Go ahead and set up for the AP on the next round. Doesn't mean you can't switch back. Try to always keep a rotation going of what you're trying to use, and you'll be a lot more effective, especially in the early game where everybody outranges you. I mean, you're the Kawachi of Tier 6. Your range sucks. It sucks more than most cruisers. So you just got to deal with it and try to make it work on your own. I love the New Mexico. My battle rating does not reflect my love for the New Mexico. Comparatively, I have like a 1100, I think. Let's see. 1193 is my WTR in the New Mexico. I have 50 battles in it. By contrast, in the Tier 4 New Mexico, I have a 1546. I absolutely love the Miyogi. It is my go-to ship when I want to have a good day. The New Mexico is another, lower tier ship that I go to and I have a good day. I mean, I always have a good time playing certain ships, and you're going to want to garage or port them. I mean, the New Mexico is definitely, yeah, I'm going to have a port slot for the New Mexico. It is that much fun to play. Would I get it? Would I keep it? Yes. Does the grind to the Colorado suck? Yes. Because it takes forever. Like I said, it's 99,000 experience. And the average game in, across, what is it, Warships today, the average experience per game in New Mexico is only 800 experience. So you're going to be in it a while. And that's what we basically opened up with is you're going to be in this boat for a while. Learn to like it. Stockholm Syndrome and everything like that. And then you're going to go into Colorado, and then you're going to hate your life. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's no New Mexico. But it's no NorCal either. North Carolina is amazing. But that's the story for another time. Guys, thanks for watching. Gals, thanks for watching. If there's something I've done wrong, if I've misinformation, any kind of misinformation I've put out there, please correct me. Link me, okay, we've changed this. Give me a link to a forum post that backs up, a statement on, okay, we've changed this armor value or anything like that, or we've changed this value on anything. If I've said something wrong, I'll correct it as fast as I can because I do not want to spread misinformation in this series at all. So thanks again for watching. Y'all have a good evening.